I'm Michelle Graves, your host on today's segment of The Power of Money. I'm glad to have you here. Now, at The Power of Money, we are interested in three things happening. First, we want you to get the necessary education so that you and your family can make the decisions that will impact positively on you in your financial life. The second thing is that you be empowered to prosper. I only want the best for you. And you can only get that if you have education and then the drive to make it happen. And the third thing that is so important to me is that you recognize that life is more than a journey and that you be energized so that you can begin to participate in the truly joyous experience of living. So, here's to empowerment, here's to education, and here's to energy. I'm Michelle Graves, your host, Power of Money, and here we go. And here we go. I'm Michelle Graves, your host on The Power of Money. This show has been airing since, believe it or not, 1982. Yes, that long. And the number of markets that it broadcasts currently. And I want to, before we go any further, and it's a new year, and always with new year is new opportunity, exciting situations. And I just want to thank the producers of this show, DATV in Dayton, Ohio. I'm a Cincinnatian in terms of where I live, but I must tell you, I make that drive up the road to DATV because they are absolutely phenomenal people. They're likable people, knowledgeable people, and they have just done an incredible job for me. And I want you to know that, and I want you to know that it is because of their efforts that this show airs every week in Dayton and airs in 51 other markets throughout the United States. In addition to which, if you'd like to look at back episodes, we've got a ton of material on YouTube. They started uploading shows some time ago, and on every topic imaginable, because I've interviewed people, dealt with conversations, had communication with you all, and it's just been an incredible ride. But you can always go to youtube.com, The Power of Money with Michelle Graves. Now, when we first started uploading, nobody had The Power of Money. But now there are some other people, and that's fine. But just make sure you say The Power of Money with Michelle Graves. If there's a particular subject you want to look at, type that in as well. Maybe Michelle Graves Medicaid, Michelle Graves Transformation. And it'll pull up what it can find in its library. So I want to give you that heads up for 2019. I'm committed this year more than ever to just keeping it real with you, my viewers, my faithful viewers who've watched me steadily for so many years. No, I have not changed. I definitely have gotten older. I'm 67 now. And I know it's hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe. I'm like, whoa. But you know what? Age is just a number. And once you get past that, you're free to enjoy your life, to express yourself, and to be really good at what you do. So as I share with people, I've been doing this a long time. Not just television, but providing financial advice, talking to people about life issues, and doing insurance. Group insurance is my thing right now. Long-term care has always been my thing, and it's now reaching epidemic because people are going into facilities and they don't have any money or provisions, which means that you will be taken care of, but you may not like how it looks. So again, without further ado, I want to give accolades to the people that have been good to me. You all, as my viewers, have been very good to me as well. You've given me feedback, you've given me comments, you've given me all kinds of pushback on Facebook. Yeah, you can reach me on Facebook, and I appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot to me, helps me to focus on areas that you're extremely concerned about, which segues in perfectly with what I'm going to talk about today. No guests, just me for the next 2 segments. The subject matter is going to be single ladies, the economics of singlehood. Oh, yeah, I'm going there. I don't have a choice. I'm single, okay? I didn't say that was a problem. It isn't. I'm extremely happy and wouldn't have it any other way right now at this point in my life. I just like my freedom. But let me share with you something. And I share this seriously without any apologies whatsoever. Listen up to me carefully. Single ladies, that's all of you who are widowed, divorced, never married. That's per the census population. That's how they define it. So if you are a single woman, meaning you are widowed, you are divorced, or you've never been single, then this is for you. Now, I'm not negating men because there are single men, but their numbers are not to compare with single women. In fact, it is absolutely, at this point in history, a done deal. Women not only are the largest numeric number in terms of population in the United States, but, and this is really important, but over the age of 60, it just goes right through the roof. Goes right through the roof. Women have never been married, are divorced, don't intend on getting married again, or they're widowed, meaning their husbands left first. And again, those numbers are compelling, and the economics of those numbers are also compelling, and that's what I want you to get from today's part 1 of Single Ladies. Beyonce wasn't the only one that's saying, I'm a single lady, I'm a single lady. She tapped into what is happening in America, and that is with our large numbers and the demographic changes that are taking place. And when I say demographic, I'm saying to you that the baby boomers, of which I am one, are leading this shift in people coming out of the workplace. Single ladies are now retirement ladies. That's where the numbers are. The number of women that are out of the workplace and are getting income in terms of Social Security, pensions if it's available, or with many of them, nothing. And when I say that, Social Security is calculated based upon what you've put into the workforce. And if you haven't been working and you've never been married and your in and out experience in the workforce is not good, you may find yourself not necessarily getting any Social Security. Social Security is not a right. It is a benefit to workers who have paid into the fund. It's a fund that's set aside. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, awesome, progressive, rich man, I might add, who had a compassion for people, had a compassion for working people, saw the decimation from the Depression and put Social Security in place as a mechanism to ensure that people would not be run over by the bus when they retired or when they wanted to retire. Of course, it's since expanded into all kinds of things, and I can get into that on another show. But I'm just saying to you that for those of you that are single, you better find out what your benefits are. You need to do that today. Call them, make an appointment, find out what you are entitled to, because they don't send out statements anymore. Everybody's concerned about waste and paper. So, you need to do that and find out if you're not eligible, what you need to do to get current. You may have to go into the workplace and work to meet those required accumulated credits that are part of Social Security criteria. So, on that note, I'm trying to paint you a picture today for single ladies. Again, divorced, single, never married, or widowed. 3 categories, okay? if that fits you, and if you're a male and you've never been married. Don't know how you did that one, but you're a bachelor. You are a widower. Your wife died. She predeceased you. Or you're divorced. There are lots of men out here that are divorced. You can listen into a lot of the material I'm going to be sharing over these next 2 segments may be relevant for you as well. But here is the bottom line. It disproportionately impacts women in terms of the economics of singlehood, the lack of financial resources. Because to start with, women don't get paid what men get paid. Now you can have whatever opinion you want, but that's a fact. We don't get paid in the workplace what men get paid. Now that doesn't seem like it's a problem, because this is the way life works. It's not a problem until it's a problem. And when you realize that years of being paid less than men, in the end, when you need money, that comes home to hurt you. We don't have enough accumulated because we weren't paid what we should have been paid. And for many of we women, and I'm one of the we women, I hear over and over, oh, that's not a big deal. I'm not a feminist. I don't care what you are. The bottom line is that if you start the race with a handicap, which is I'm not getting paid on par with a man for the same work, it's going to bite you in the butt on down the road because you're working with less money. Okay, so that's a fact. That's a fact. And whether you believe in equal pay or not, and I'm not a politician, but I do have opinions, and I do feel that women should be paid the same as men for the work they do. Anything other than that is just unfair. And it's unbalanced because in the end, she winds up really, really scrambling, trying to make ends meet. So we're starting off with the numbers. As I said, women outnumber men. Single ladies, divorced, widowed, never married, have just exploded on all age categories. But where it's felt most critically is women that are in their 50s and above, moving toward retirement and looking at their circumstances a little bit differently. And when I say differently, viewers, those of you that are over 50, or those of you, you know what you're starting to feel as you're getting older. And if panic hasn't set in yet, just keep living. Because panic's going to set in when you look at what you have and what you need to be able to have a sustainable life as you grow older. Now, some of the things that happen for you young girls, don't worry about it because you're going to get there. If you just keep living, just don't die. But as you get older, you begin to recognize that things become real as a part of aging. Okay? You look in the mirror. It's not a lie. You start wrinkling. It started in your 30s and 40s, but it accelerates as you get older. You never thought about anti-aging because when you're younger, it's not relevant. You're thinking about children. You're thinking about other things. You're not thinking about your face and your body. Menopause kicks in. Oh, did she just say menopause? Exactly. When your body begins to move from being a birther to time out for good. And it causes some real hormonal changes, and that's something you got to cope with. You don't feel good. You feel odd. You can't quite figure it out. You don't know what to do. Hot flashing is not a bad word. It happens all the time when you see women pulling out fans. she's having a meltdown, like a nuclear meltdown. Her thinking processes begin to change, and her body begins to change. Okay? Her body, she needs more support in areas that she didn't think she needed. Now, there she is. This is a truth. It's not only a fact, but it is a truth because aging begins to kick in and you begin to become aware of what that looks like. Now, for the record, I have been incredibly blessed. So, okay, because you look at me and you're like, how does she do it? Well, I'm going to tell you, number one, I use shea butter. Okay? My stuff. I actually manufacture shea butter. If you've looked at earlier sessions, go to Welcome to My World. I show you about shea butter. I show you how it works. I show you what it does. Shea butter blocks radiation. Yes, it does. It keeps radiation from penetrating efficiently your cells. And since your face faces the sun, and sun is nothing but one big fat radiation globe, hey, you put that stuff on, you're golden, all right? I'm a witness, okay? I'm a walking saleswoman. Don't hate me. Buy the product and begin to reverse some of those damages. Stop getting things that hurt you. Stop planning on plastic surgery as a remedy, because plastic surgery is invasive, meaning they cut you and pull you. Yikes. And then you got to come back in 10 years and get it again. That's not the way to go. But I'm telling you about aging and the things that you begin to see. And like I said, you begin to see your face and your body take on a different role. You also find yourself getting tired. Okay, why? Because of the hormonal changes that are taking place in your body. Not abnormal, aging. Why do you think old people sleep a lot? They tired. They take naps. They drift off. And you're like, how do they do that? Keep living. Okay? I'm not a napper, but I was encouraged by a friend of mine. You ought to try it because you're kind of hyper. I'm like, yeah, I am. But can I lay down and just do nothing? And you know what? I did it. And you know what? I felt great. When I got up, I was refreshed. I was ready to go. That is a truth, viewers. Okay? No different from men either. Men nap. They just nap longer. Okay? They just nap longer. They glaze off. They doze off. Because you know what? When you've been on earth for 50, 60 years, think about it. Think about it. You've been walking around for all these years, and you don't think your body gets tired? I don't care if you're Jack LaLanne, he's gone, may rest in peace. But it's not swinging like when you're in your 20s and early 30s. Things begin to shift after your mid-30s. Okay, seriously, biologically, things begin to change. And you need to be attentive to that, which means that if you don't work out, you need to. Which means that if you don't do a 30-minute walk every day, you need to keep your heart going. It means that if you're not interested in dying soon, stay away from toxic people and stressful situations. Stay away. Just stay away. At your age, you don't have to offer an explanation to anybody as to why you drew a line through their name. You don't have to have that conversation. You don't have to engage in people that you don't care for or like. Now, why am I saying all this? Because as I look at the whole issue of singlehood and what women predominantly find themselves encountering are the very things I'm talking to you right now. Your body changes. Wrinkles start to appear as radiation begins to take its toll on your face. Your hands begin to look different. You may begin to have spots on your body called age spots. I don't know where they come from. I'm not a dermatologist. I'm just telling you, these are things you begin to notice about your body. You also notice that you get tired, that you get weepy sometimes because of hormonal changes. And my goodness gracious, boom. Then you take a hard look at how long do I have to work? And as I opened up talking about Social Security and about how you need to make an appointment to find out what you have and what you are accumulating and how much you would be eligible for, you need to do that immediately. Particularly if you're over 60, don't play with this. Don't go into shock and someone has to take you to the hospital. Get the facts. So now you're looking at all these things and you're saying, you know what? I'm out. Next. Have a nice day. I'm done. And then you discover, not exactly. Because you weren't paid as much, because of discrimination in pay, because you tend to spend more. I mean, that's just a fact. The whole notion of shopping and women, I mean, you don't hear about men in shopping. Maybe with online and electronics, things have changed. But the whole notion of shopping being an entitlement for women is absurd. I mean, and then you take your girlfriends, okay? Because we want to shop. Well, I got news for you. I don't do shopping. Oh my goodness gracious, you're missing on life. No, I'm not. I'm not missing on anything. Period. The money lady does not do shopping. Okay? Why? Because if it's not in my budget, I'm not doing it. I do other things. I'm not going to get into a habit that's going to blow me up. Let me give you a case specific about this. And today, this first part is to lay the landscape so that you can begin to assess your values and the things that you have done that have created a problem for you. And many of us right now are looking at it and living it, which is why I decided to do this show to start out 2019, which is, whoa, stop the madness, rewind, let's do this again, the way it's supposed to be with proper guidance. And if you're serious about what I'm about, and if you are a longtime viewer or even a recent viewer, even right now, it's the first time you ever heard of her, blah, 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 listen to me. I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot. As a female and as a single female, category divorced, okay? I can tell you that if you do not take stock of your situation, immediately poverty is waving at you. Poverty is waving at you. The government already knows that the majority of nursing homes, skilled care facilities, that's what they call them today, are women. They're not men. They're women. Why? Well, for starters, men don't live as long as women. They die. Of course, a lot of them say, yeah, we died. You killed us. I'm like, okay, that's your perspective. That's okay. But they're not here. But we are. And we're not only here, but we're here a long time. Because we suffer from chronic diseases, such as arthritis, such as diabetes, such as Alzheimer's. And many of these conditions could have been identified earlier in life if we had slowed down and began to do an assessment of what was happening. If you are under stress all the time, from anything and everything, from overcommitments, from financial pressures, from children, from juggling and balancing all the things called life is an adventure, stress is going to happen. And learning how to manage stress will help you to get to the finish line. For real. If stress will break you down, break down your body, break down your bones. If your middle part looks like you're perpetually pregnant, that's stress. That's cortisol. And there's some muscles involved as well. You got to get to that. Learning the art of exercise. I tell folks, exercise is not an option when you get older, ladies. Exercise is mandatory. Get up and hit the block. Put on your gym shoes, Nikes, whatever, and hit it. And hit it hard because your life depends on it. It really does. Also, while you're walking, fast paced, boom, 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 so I do it, you can think about where you're headed. It's a good time to begin to reflect about where you've been and where you're headed. The most dreadful thing that I have encountered of late is the number of older women who are incredibly bitter and toxic and spewing it. And for the record, I get that. Life was not kind. Your husband was ratchet, but that was your husband. You weren't willing to opt for a divorce, so you opted for miserable marriage. For others of you, you feel cheated. You feel like I didn't have a chance to sprout my wings and spread my wings and enjoy life because I was raising children and tending to life and trying to keep a roof over my head. All those things are factually correct. Ask me how I know. But I'm going to say to you, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. Single ladies, release that emotion and throw it into the pit of forgiveness, starting with yourself. Starting with yourself, ladies, which is, I hadn't a clue that it was going to end like this. So rather than being toxic and hurting yourself, release it. Release it into the arena called memories best forgotten. Now, throughout life, there are wonderful memories. I mean, I think of the things that I did and children and all the good things. And those are pleasant memories. But let me share something with you. They're memories. But if you want to make them real time right now, I mean, take that memory, bring it forward, and here it is, alive. Memories don't die if you keep feeding them. I mean, they're just like an insatiable baby. Feed me, feed me, feed me. If you continue to dwell on how it was, rather than fast forward to how it is and how it's going to be, because in the Bible, it says that every day is a new day. And I tell people that means that's a new opportunity. A new opportunity. That's what a new day means. If you're positive. If you are stuck on memory lane and you are in the rat's cage going around and around and around and around and around and around, you will never, ever grasp for yourself the true meaning of aging, which is you now have the benefit of years of experience and boots on the ground. Nobody can tell you that, and nobody can take that away. But as you move into your older years, single ladies, you got to release that stuff. Got to let it go, put it in a box somewhere, pitch it out the window. I don't care what you do. Get rid of it. You say, but that's not easy. Oh, really? You have a choice. You're going to live or you're going to die. A lot of people aren't in a box. Death in a box is not the criteria for death. Death is when you stop living. Got it? Death means stop living. So whether you're walking around alive but dead, or whether you're in a box and physically dead, you're dead. And toxicity and stress and remorse, which all seep into your body, into the lymph nodes. Did you know that? Into the bone marrow, where your cells are produced. All that stuff begins to slowly kill you. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't take my word for it. Word study in the Bible about bitterness so you'll know where it comes from and what it does to your cells, how it begins to eat you alive, so that when you reach that day of retirement or living the life you could have because you now are in control, you're just pissed off at everything, everybody, every situation. Negative, 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 negative. Or all those things are doing things to you. Why am I so emphatic about that? Because what I want to talk to you about today, and I'll talk to you about in the next segment, is I need you to change your mindset. I need you to adopt a different way of living and embracing life. Because believe me when I tell you that your life is not a function of a job. It's not a function of your family. Your life is a function of you. You control your destiny. Now, before you get religious on me and say God's in control, absolutely He's in control, which is why He expects you to be in control. Okay? He's not coming down here in a burning bush to dig you out of a situation that you put yourself in. Nope. You're going to have to pick up a shovel, and you're just going to have to start digging dirt. And whatever happens, whatever happens. But at least you are participating in digging dirt and throwing it away, done with it, finished, etc., etc., etc. The other thing, single ladies, that contributes to toxicity is our predisposition as females to get entangled in stuff that does not have our name on it. Did you hear what I just said? How are you going to get involved with situations that you don't have a vested interest in outcome? Doesn't have your name on it. So you get involved in listening to conversations that have nothing to do with you, in responding emotionally to situations that don't have your name on it. Where's your name on that? What's your involvement? Why? Well, girl, you don't understand. I don't care. Everybody has to work out their own stuff. And if you're asked for advice, you have the freedom to offer it. But if you're not asked for advice, don't give it. Why? Because nobody could tell you that the pot was black. Nobody could tell you that fish are in the water. Nobody, because you were in it. You were in it. And we pray. And this is what I do tell people. If you really love somebody, you need to be praying for them, that their eyes may be opened. And maybe this show is an eye-opener for some of us, that you can begin to look at your circumstances and situation and make a decision and then a commitment. Because it's not just a decision, which I'm going to change it. You got to walk this thing out. You have to make a commitment to getting it done. And if you make the commitment, voila, God will show you. Oh, yes, He will. Promise you. Unbelievable. But making a decision without having a commitment is just like making New Year's resolutions to lose weight. It's good for a minute, but the work is hard, and you just say, I can't do this. Well, enough of those I can't do it will lead you right into a state of mind, like I said, The Walking Dead. You're not in a box yet, but you're heading that way. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and then ultimately spiritually, where you do not believe that God can do what He says He can do. And I don't want you singing any gospel songs to me, any spiritual songs, any Amazing Grace. Don't do it. I'm talking about your walk, your situation, and what has to happen in your life so that you can begin to change a mindset and begin to grasp the significance of your behavior and what it has done with you. Now, I've given you the facts. We start off at a disadvantage. Most of us are never paid what we should be. Fortunately for me, and I'm just saying for me, as I'm self-employed, I'm in the financial services industry, which is insurance and banking and all that. And there's no pay discrimination when it comes to commissions. You get paid exactly what every male that's doing this gets paid. And therefore, you have tremendous opportunity to make a lot of money, which women in my industry, for the most part, we make a lot of money because we're getting paid. We're working like they're working, and we're doing what men don't have access to. What's that? Women know everybody. Women talk. We talk to everybody. We don't need lead generation material because we know everybody. So it's about a phone call. And can I help you today? So I'm saying this because my world is a little differently ordered, but it doesn't mean I don't have an understanding of those women who don't have it like that. Most women are working 9-to-5ers. They are making less than $15 an hour. They're trying to take care of children. Retirement, be serious. They don't have life insurance. They don't know how they can afford to pay for medical insurance. I feel you. I do. It's rough. But I maintain, and I will continue to maintain, that if you stay on the negative and on the dark side, everything that is negative and dark will come your way. Everything, including people. People, your girlfriends. Right, your girlfriends. Because, hey, misery loves company. That is a truth. That's not just a fact. Misery does love company. And what I'm trying to provoke you in talking about singlehood is the brutal facts, which is you're going to have to make some serious changes or your outcomes are going to be very, very financially devastating. Okay? Why? Because that's the way life works. If you don't plan ahead, the end is predictable. It just is. And I can say this because I have counseled and advised women for years. I'm not a young woman. I've talked about this. And my advice is, girl, get your act together. I'm going to, no. This is not a sermon, okay? I'm just sharing with you from a perspective of another single woman that if you do not handle your affairs properly, you're going to be poor, broke, and out there. And there are millions of women that fit that category and don't know how they got there. Life moves fast. But let me just say for you, as a point of reference, the shopping in 2019 stops. Negative, zero. That includes Amazon, that includes Macy's, that includes Nordstrom, that includes Neiman Marcus, that includes Louis Vuitton bags that you can't even afford. 26% interest on a bag that's already overpriced. Shoes, clothing. Where are you going to wear all this stuff? I'm just asking. Now, I will be the first to tell anyone, I have a wardrobe. Why do I have a wardrobe? Because I'm in the public. I am always in the public. Therefore, I keep my wardrobe together. However, I'm not a shopper. So how do you get your clothes, money lady? Ha! If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. But it has something to do with not brand new. Okay? Because who's looking for a price tag on your dress? Who cares? As long as it looks good on you and it's clean. Dry cleaners, laundry, whatever you need to do. But what you don't do is you never, ever, ever go into a store and expect to leave without clothing or something. Stores are designed to entice you into spending your money, whether it's cash, whether it's check, or whether it's credit card. Credit cards are preferred method today because it's easy. Easy for them, but painful for you. Because even if you bought a dress at Kohl's or JCPenney or some of your just regular working girl stuff, you still got to pay for it. So if you take it out of current money, that's less money you have currently to live on and to pay your expenses, rent or mortgage, gas and electric, water bill, cell phone, food. Yeah, you got to eat. And other things. That's money you maybe cannot ante up, so you credit card it. And you pay a pretty price to put that on that little piece of plastic. If you haven't figured it out by now, I am not interested in debt at all. Debt is the reason this country's going down the toilet. It's not because of politics. Are you kidding me? This is a capitalist country. I don't care who's president. He can't make you stop charging, okay? And paying for things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people that don't matter. Who you impressing? Why? Why is that so important? Why is that so important? Maybe there's some other issues while we're going down this rabbit hole that need to be looked at before you reach a point of desperation and destitution. First thing, and this is so important because I watch women. I watch men too, but I watch women. I watch them when they make buy decisions. I watch them during Christmas, and incidentally, I love Christmas. But my Christmas is budgeted. Exactly. Right now, I'm looking for next year's Christmas, December 2019, full force, which means that I'm not going to buy things ever that are maxed out on price. I'm going to be looking for things, preferably that are being marked down, discontinued. The thing about women and the rip-off, and it is a rip-off, is our clothing is so overpriced. I had to learn that when I lived in China. When it costs them $1 to make a dress and to put a label on it, and the minute they put a certain label on it, that dress goes from $1 manufacturing cost to $149, $59. You say, how's this possible? Business. How's this possible? Business, and because you'll pay for it. So even when an item is on sale, it's not $1. So don't be lured in, oh, it's a sale. It's not a sale. If a company really priced everything at what they paid for it, they wouldn't be in business. Okay? So don't get caught up on it's a sale. What you get caught up on is I don't do debt. And if it's not in my budget, I'm not doing it. Okay? And maybe I need to liquidate some of that stuff if it's liquidatable, because clothing is just so everyday that why bother? So are shoes. Try to resell shoes. Woo, unless they're designers, you know what I'm talking about, Stuart Weitzman's and that genre, you know, Kate Spade, all that stuff. Those are couture shoes. And if you spent $800 on a shoe, other than me using it to beat your head in, then if you need the money, try to sell it on eBay and see what happens. Sadly, rich women don't have to do eBay. They're rich. They're married to rich men. I forgot to tell you that, by the way. They didn't get rich by happenstance. Miss Bezos, who is now getting ready to cross into the world of divorce and will be a multi-billionaire because of her and her husband's, who owns Amazon, activity during their married life, she is not going to be on eBay trying to find a deal. So if you want to go and exercise that fantasy and you have the money, whatever. I'm not doing that either because I don't care. I really don't. I'm so far beyond that. When I look at the devastation that I am seeing among my peers, among women I went to school with, women that I've enjoyed activities with, and knowing full well that their act isn't together and that they're playing this game because I'm going to look good to you. You don't have to look good to me. I know you're broke. I know you can't figure out how this happened. I know you're trying to look at your children as a, what is it, a lifesaver? What are those little boat things that you cast out? Your children aren't going to save you. They're trying to save themselves. They're not going to be saving mom. Okay? And this I run into with a lot of women. Oh, my kids will take care of me. What? Where did you come up with that from? Well, you know, I just know they will. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's not that they don't love you, but they're adults too. And they really expected you to handle your business so that you would not put them in a position of trying to run away from you. When I say run away from you, they may not visit a lot because it makes them feel bad to see you like this, okay? Where do we end this conversation on part 1 of singlehood? Reality. Reality check. Mind check. Where am I? You have no money in the bank. Okay. How'd that happen? Well, you don't know. It's hard out here. It's hard out here for everybody. The world is about hard. God never said this was heaven. That was a mistake in your assessment. This is not heaven. This is dirt. Okay. And by the time you meet dirt, you're like, oh my goodness, this can't be right. If you have no money in the bank, you know what you need to do? It's easy. The quickest way to get money in the bank is to sell your stuff. Sell it. Let your friends know I'm liquidating. I'm done. For the record, I'm getting ready to do the same thing. And it's not because I need it. It's because how many coats and leathers and just how much, I mean, come on. It's like having a garage full of cars. Why? So I'm getting ready to liquidate all of them. I'm done. I don't wear all that stuff anyway. At a different point in my life, I don't care. It doesn't have an attachment to me, and I don't have an attachment to it. I need you to think like that, okay? If you need money, look at what you got. As God told Moses, look at what's in your hand. He's like, I stutter. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, you need to look at what you got in your hand. Moses had a stick, and he used that stick to open up the Red Sea. Woo-wee, bet he didn't know that stick could do that. Point of the matter is, as you begin to make the moves to change your views and to begin to take a solid look at your situation, get the facts, get the information, make a decision, then you can go better and then you can go further. So you have no money. Your husband left you. You never had any money. Guess what? You're not by yourself. The difference is what you going to do about it. Are you going to take proactive steps for you? Are you going to stay in bondage to other people's expectations of you? Whatever that is. Now, you talk about crazy. Trying to make other people happy and they're not writing checks for your bills? What? Love you first. I didn't say narcissists. We're not talking about manipulative, game-playing, crazy people. I'm saying that you are first. And as you move into the realm of retirement, you're going to have to dumb it down. The breaking from the clothing, the breaking from the shopping, the breaking from trinkets. As I say, trinkets are things that we like to buy, jewelry and jewelry parties. And, oh, it's only $5. Multiply $5. You're going to spend at least $50 because you're going to find more things that you want. that you'll never wear, maybe once, because your lifestyle doesn't support it. That's a reality. Does my lifestyle support this? And if the truth is it does not, then what am I doing? I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this to offend anyone, but I am saying this. If you are out of control, then please consider getting help. I'm talking about mental health, because something's out of whack. Something is deeply out of whack. And if you think that the lottery is going to bring you winnings, you need to schedule an appointment immediately. If you think that the slot machine and losing all your money is a fun day, you need to see a therapist to begin to understand what's happening in your mind. And then to say to yourself, well, I got to have some fun. We all do. But fun does not have to break you financially. It does not have to destroy your soul because you're not able to take care of yourself. And let me share something with every one of you that's viewing. I do not, hear me, I don't put myself on a pedestal. I'm talking about things that I have walked through and I have experienced in my life. I have been a single mother for most of my life and a single woman for most of my life. And you know what? That's a formula for no money. I was blessed to be able to have the financial resources through hard work. Yeah, I cleaned offices at night. Yeah, I did. I had to pay bills. My company wasn't making any money yet. So I had to make sacrifices. I had to do this because this is what I wanted to do. I never felt you get rich working for anybody. And anybody that thinks that it's just, you need to see a therapist. You need to get help. But I did these things. So I know what it's like to hurt. I know what it's like to not have. And I also know what it's like to plan hard for rainy days, because rainy days are coming. And it's not just the federal shutdown, where 800,000 people plus a whole lot more are experiencing beyond rainy days. They are experiencing flooding and hurricanes and utter devastation. Utter, because the majority of them did not think it was going to happen to them. And I will also say that I bet you a nickel to a dollar that the majority of those people are females, living single, trying to work it out. One other thought before we wrap up. During this period where you are now looking at you, consider starting your own business. I'm not talking about multi-level and all that. I'm talking about where you can get cash in hand. Cash, money. If you make cakes, sell them. If you know how to sew, do it. Whatever your skill set is, if you know how to clean, do it. I'll hire you today. Okay? I'm telling you, because that's not my skill set. I have a very clean house, and I have an excellent friend of mine who cleans my house. Bugs, nothing's going to be around when she's around. They're going to be like, oh, we're so sorry. We made a mistake. We're leaving now. And off. But look at your skill sets. Look at your girlfriends and what you all can begin to do. If you're overweight, consider doing a class for other women that are in the same situation where you can walk together, charge them something low, something modest that they can afford, and then do it. But my point is, do it. Do something. This is America. Do something. Because if you don't begin to save and put aside and protect you, you're going to wind up in your 60s, and God forbid your 70s, with nothing, and trying to figure out how this happened like this. And I'm a positive person because I know, listen, for Christmas, I ordered butter cakes from a lady in Wisconsin who from Mississippi. But I tasted one of her cakes when I was on the road, and I said, I gotta have this. Do you ship? Girlfriend baked me 2 of those butter cakes. I paid for whatever she charged. I paid to have them FedExed, and I enjoyed my cakes. She is now on the way to starting her own butter cake business. Who do you think's going to be her first customer? Me! Oh my gosh. Her cake blew everybody out. I'm serious. It blew everybody out. So what am I saying to you? If a woman from Wisconsin can get a revelation, because she was whining, I said, time out. What do you got in your hand? Make it happen. I'll be your first customer. I'm not kidding you. I'll do this. On today's segment of The Power of Money, Singlehood Part 1, I'm Michelle Graves, giving you an overview of what you need to do. And it starts with change your thinking. I'll talk to you soon. See you for the next segment. Bye-bye.